Ultimate Boot CD for Windows is a bootable recovery CD that contains software used for repairing, restoring, or diagnosing almost any computer problem. And that's directly off Ultimate Boot CD for Windows website. And I agree with that statement, and it has come in pretty handy. If you've worked on computers for a while now, you've probably used it. I'm fairly certain you hope you have by now, but you have to build it. It's something you download, and then you have to have a good copy of like an XP disk where you can copy that onto your computer. And then basically during the process of building that, you have to point it to that copy of that CD, and then it pulls a lot of the stuff off of that, the i386 folder and all that stuff. I use mine for a couple of reasons. Actually, there's a couple of things on here that I use it for. I don't really scan computers for viruses. I will in rare cases. If I have a really tough time trying to clean a machine, I may try it, but I haven't had a lot of luck scanning with this thing. The two main things I use it for is remote registry and accessing clients' data on their hard drive without having to pull the hard drive out and plug it into the USB to SATA controller or IDE controller adapter. It's a good tool. There's some like you can test your hard drive, you can test your memory. You can even reset the password if you get a machine and they don't remember their administrator password for the machine. You can reset that. But my main uses are the remote registry, because you may get that machine that comes your way that they can't boot up. It goes into a continuous reboot loop whenever it tries to log in. And you need to get in there and mess with the user init file or the win logon file, or just the registry's corrupt somehow, somewhere, or you're missing some sort of important system file and you need to put it on there. That's a real good way. You can boot up right to this disk, and I'll show you this here in just a minute. And alright, we got that up there, and here's what it looks like. Now I'm running this in a virtual machine, and I already set it up where I booted right out the disk, and this is the first menu you're going to see. So you can scroll up and down through all the options here. This one right here is where you can reset the password, the administrator password. So in case they forgot their administrator password. The Windows Recovery Console I've used a couple of times to run something like check disk. Well, I think check disk can be run through that. There's a few reasons I ran that. Let's see, mem test. But the main thing I use it for is to launch the Ultimate Boot CD. Now I'm going to let this boot up. This is going to take a little bit. It's not the fastest, to boot up, because what it's doing is it's loading that entire CD, or not the entire, but it's loading a workable version of slimmed down XP into RAM, so that way you can access whatever hardware, such as hard drives and all that stuff on there. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it until it's completely booted up. And this is just, it's still booting up, but I just want to show you, it looks like Windows XP on here, so I'll pause it again. Now, you just missed it, but it asked me if I wanted to start network support, and I said yes, and I want to use DHCP, and here we go. This is where you can, this is where you would end up getting your DHCP address, and there you go. It pulled it off my server. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. So that way, if you're going to run any sort of updates, or you want to download a virus scanner, you can do that. So that's a good idea. You don't always have to do that, though. And so this is it. And it comes pre-configured with a bunch of handy icons. Here's a file like Explorer right there. There's a lot of different Explorers, which the one I've always kind of used was under File Management. Explorers was the A43 File Management Utility. I don't know, that one has always worked well for me. Back in the day when I used to use BART PE instead of this, but now I don't know, this one would work too. So you can click on that, and then you can access the actual hard drive. And oops, it's not that one. It's not the C drive. Let's see, local disk. There it is. This is the actual local disk. So don't always go, if it was the C drive, you know, and within the regular Windows environment, it may not be that here in this environment. And then also this creates a RAM disk. And then, you know, while you're working in this utility, and here, let me show you, well, actually, I'm jumping all over the place, but here's what I use it for. If you go to Programs, you go to Registry Tools, and there should be a remote registry, remote here, Reg Edit Remote, and you can tell it choose the Windows directory. We know it's on the D because I just looked at it, so hit OK. Target is not Windows 2000 or later. OK, so that's not working out. Okay, I know what I did wrong. Alright, so in here, if you go Programs, Registry Tools, Reg Edit, Remote, click on the D. What it's asking for is choose Windows directory, and I just got in a hurry. It's been a while, so right here, actually choose the Windows directory, hit OK. Do you wish to load remote user profiles for scanning? I always select yes. I want to do all of them. And then here you go. So now you can access the registry if you need to make some changes. System. Let's do software. You know, whatever. So you can get in here and you can make all your changes. That comes in real handy. And then also, of course, like what I was showing you earlier, is here if you want to see if, you know, maybe it's not bootable, but they want you to reinstall Windows. But before you do that, they would like to recover any data that you can. So, okay, like this one's going to be under users, and let's do C Davis, and let's go to the desktop. So I don't have anything on the desktop, but let's see. You know, definitely people's pictures, if they had pictures in here. And then what you could do is if you had an external hard drive plugged in, it would show up in this list as well. And, you know, you can, what's cool about Explorer 2 is you can have one open here and one open there. So in other words, let's say, let's go back to how I had it. Let's go to Chris this time. Let's go to Documents. Okay, everybody's got Documents. Let's say you want to copy all this stuff over, and then you click over here onto this one, and you go find your external drive, which I'm just going to pretend that this was the external, you know, and then you can just drag and drop your stuff, copy it right over there. So that comes in real handy. Those are the main uses I use it for. And you know, when you build it, you can select what programs you want to install. You can actually install plugins, which I have done in the past, and it's worked out great. I installed Image for Windows plugins, which is my favorite disk drive imaging software. And there's a lot of them in here, and I think I actually took them off. Well, no, I still left a lot in here. I mean, there's a lot of free utilities here that at least helped me out in the past. Antivirus stuff, I didn't care for, and anti-spyware. You know, my experience with these is, yeah, it found some, but it never really cleaned it that great. So I had more luck just, you know, fixing the problem and maybe booting in a safe mode, running some MBAM and all that stuff. So, but yeah, this is it. And you know, of course, you got easy PC fix, which is cool because you can go in here and you know, delete your temporary files and all that stuff. So let's close out of all that. There's a lot of cool utilities, but that's mainly what I use it for.